You see the gains going on. You see it.
Oh,
you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
She be talking about she ain't strong. She says she ain't strong. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Urban Voice Podcast. I am, I guess, today's host.
You are the host, my guy.
I'm the host today. I got a raise, y'all.
A little role reversal.
I got a promotion today. I am your host, Chris Flash, and my co-host,
Empress D, as usual. And as you can see, we are outside of the studio. We ain't even on the streets today. We in the gym.
well, you should be. No shade. No shade.
But if you ain't, it's okay. Just stick with us. We're gonna invite you out and we're gonna get there when we get there. But today we're talking about a very important conversation that we really wanna see happening across the community, and that is mental health awareness, especially for our men.
For me, I don't know about y'all, I don't know about you, but the gym is therapy to me.
We know.
You know what I'm saying? Getting in there and slinging around some heavy weights and that mind-muscle connection.
We see it.
It's, you feel me? You feel me? Push-ups and small shirts. That's my, that's my motto. But yes, we're gonna be talking about the importance of combining the therapy that is going to the gym, being active. You don't have to always lift weights. You can just go for a walk. You can go for a mile jog. Anything to get the body moving, dancing, yoga, it all counts. And our special guest today is someone who has competed at the highest level, who coaches, who does meal prep. He does it all when it comes to the world of fitness. Mr. Darryl Eubanks, owner of Still Life Athletics.
I am Darryl Eubanks, owner of Still Life Athletics, and you are listening to the Urban Voice Podcast.
Darryl, brother, you looking swole, man.
Appreciate it.
How you feeling?
Trying. Feeling good. Madam, Empress D. Yes.
Thank you.
Word. So, bro, I love the home gym, brother. How long did it take you to get all this put in here?
All of it together, I would say. I mean, we continue to build little by little, but really the build out was probably like a year and a half. So
wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a super long process. A lot of it, some of it was gifted. People just wanted to go to a good home. I was like, man, let me get a truck. Let me go get this stuff, because I knew I had already seen the vision. And then Instagram giveaways. I won all the dumbbells, all the kettlebells.
Oh, wow.
All the battle ropes, all the medicine balls, Instagram giveaways. So
like one or a bunch of them?
No, just one.
Off of one?
One. I kept on texting them every day, messaging them every day.
Oh, that's perfect.
Was it like an organization?
Yeah, Kettlebell Kings, Squat University.
I know about Squat University.
Yeah, and then Living Fit. And so Living Fit, I've actually done some work for since then. So it's been a cool little partnership. And they've sent me some bands and all kind of stuff like that. Yeah, built some programs for them, things like that. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yes,
That's dope. So I mean, brother, so you're an entrepreneur, a fitness entrepreneur,
yes.
right? So tell us a little bit about how you were able to start these businesses, and how did you know that you wanted to even be an entrepreneur, let alone a fitness entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would say I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur before a fitness entrepreneur for sure. Like growing up, my dad, I was always like, man, I don't want to be sitting behind a desk. Like I want to be moving. Probably had ADHD, but that was before they was diagnosed with ADHD. So I just knew I didn't want to be like parked somewhere, right? So after college ball and stuff like that, I'd never been to Chattanooga, came to Chattanooga. And man, I started working at a group home with young men, and I just saw like I had a hole missing in my life, but like football's over, but I'd always been active, so I needed something to do. Like I was like, let me get involved somewhere. So I just started working at Gold's Gym on my off days from working at the group home, and just fell in love with it, man. I always loved fitness, but I knew I wanted to do something to inspire young people. I thought that was gonna be NFL. Right? I knew I wanted to do something to inspire young men, and I knew I wanted to be active. I didn't want to be behind a desk. And so, I started bodybuilding, and then little by little, people started asking me like, hey, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? And then I'm teaching the girl to do a pull-up, people losing weight, started a little class, and then all of a sudden it's like, my boy's like, man, let's start an LLC. Started the LLC, and then just layers. So yeah, man, it was definitely God's divine intervention, man. I had a vision to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't really know what that was gonna be like. I just knew that it was somewhere between entrepreneur, leading young men, and inspiring people. You know what I'm saying?
That's a beautiful story, man. That's a beautiful story. And I mean, it's like I said, fitness in general is a therapy for me. Sure. I danced for a long time, and I found weight training, and then yoga inspires me, and all these different things. And like I said, it's a therapy. How, especially for men, right? How important is it to have some type of physical regimen for mental health?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Man, I had never felt it, honestly, until I ruptured my Achilles last year, 2025. Double rupture, so I ruptured it. He got surgery 4 months later, ruptured it again. And I knew that it was important, mental health. I knew that mental health was important. I didn't know that how important physical fitness and mental health was important for one another. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the extent until I felt it myself. Because my physical fitness was football, so my identity was very wrapped into football. When I lost that, I definitely fell into like some addictions and things that I knew that I needed to find that hole. I needed to find, you know, of course I need to turn back to God, but also like figure out like what am I missing, right? But then when I was laid up on the couch and couldn't move, I then really realized like, man, like I feel terrible, like not being able to use my body, not feeling like having the activity to go take my trash up to the trash can, or getting out of breath by walking down the street because like I wasn't able to move. I put on all this weight. So mentally, I didn't feel confident because like I tried clothes on, they didn't fit. I didn't want to go out and be around people because like it's not the image that I wanted to see when I looked in the mirror. So it's this like just confidence that it gives you. You know what I'm saying? Like to feel strong, to feel capable. You know, like I always tell my clients the best ability is availability, right? So that's why we stretch. You know what I mean? Like that's why we do mobility work, because like you can lift all the weight in the world, all the weight in the gym, but if you can't move well, then what does it matter? If you're hurt all the time, what does it matter? So you know, that really just like put things in perspective when I was laid up on the couch. It's like, man, like I've never felt this way. And so that made me even like, I'm not a weight loss coach, but it made me even realize like, you know, people just need to move. Like health is huge. Like I need to get this weight up off me because I've never felt with it. Like it made me be able to empathize with people that are overweight because I've never been overweight like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang, like this, then it makes you not want to move because you can't move. So it's like, then you get in this hole, like how do they let themselves go? It's like, because like the more deeper you get into it mentally, it's like I don't feel confident to move. I don't feel confident to go do this or be in front of these people or wear those clothes. So yeah. I think it all runs together, man. So
yeah, man, I definitely feel that. Yeah.
So you know, I'm the lady in the room. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I really am showing up as a support system, as someone who empathizes with my brothers in the community. And when you were kind of experiencing that, what was it like were you experiencing this alone? Did you have a support system that you were able to, you know, maybe show the vulnerable side of like, I was at this, you know, ability point and now I am at this ability point. What was that like when you were really trying to grasp your way out of that?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think luckily, you know, and I'm blessed to have the community that I already built around me of fitness, you know what I mean? So I had all my clients and athletes, you know, checking in on me. You know, they've seen me at my peak, you know, so it was just like this. I knew that I had to show up for them, but they were also showing for me. Like I knew that like it was an opportunity. I looked at it mentally because I'd already been through my mental struggles earlier when I lost football. So like this was a struggle to see it because I hadn't been here, but it allowed me to see this perspective of like, this is my opportunity to show them like no matter what happens, because that's what, I didn't say that, but that's what still life stands for. It's like I still have life. If I'm still breathing, I'm still fighting, so I can still get back up, right? So my goal at that point is like, man, like this is my opportunity to show up in the best version of me that I can offer right now to inspire them even more. Because if I like take this and just like, I'm done with it, like then everything I've been preaching at this point goes out the window. So like this is my opportunity to practice what I preach. And so it was I had like a revelation of like, the people that I was surrounded with was a beautiful community. So I got to realize what I had built and what God allowed me to build was for that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like when I needed to people, like if I didn't have those people to inspire or that I knew that were looking at me or to even have my back, bring me food, you know, come hang out, whatever. We started a book club, you know what I mean? Like if I didn't have those people to do that, then I could have fell deeper into that hole, right? So that's where I saw them show up the most, and that's what helped me a lot. But it also was like the mental fortitude that I was able to build earlier on in my years when I lost football originally, you know what I mean? So
I have 5 brothers, right? And so I deal with males, men. And so I know that sometimes these conversations aren't as easily or explicit.
Right.
What does it really look like for someone to show up for you if you're not able to explicitly say, hey, this is what I need? I think that's where a lot of sisters are, you know, we want to show up for our brothers, but we also are a little on the other side of the glass, like what I see you, but like how do I get to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good. I think the best way to show up, honestly, like in that space, is to continue to press in and ask those questions and be available. You know, I think for me, it was hard because as a man, you are called to, you know, provide. You're called to be strong. You're called to like to hide the emotion early. I think now we're in an age where men can show emotion a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I think it is a beautiful thing that we are there. But yeah, it's hard for women because I don't really know. Like I think it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing is like asking the poignant questions, but also saying like being willing to like give them that safe space. So like for my mom or my girlfriend or you know my friend, whatever, to say, hey, like I know you may not tell me you're struggling, but I know you're struggling, and I want you to know that I'm here for you through the struggle. So you have to like for me, it's like being very direct. Like you have to tell me how to show up. Like for you, I can't guess at this because only you know how to, and I might not know either. But like you have to be willing to continue to help me search with you. You know, and so I think that's the biggest thing from a woman's standpoint is like you being willing to like be transparent and say like I don't know where I'm needed right now, but I know I want to be needed, you know, by you because I want to be part of this village to help you. And I think that's the biggest thing because we're all so different, but we all have that like we gotta have this masculine energy too. So yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
And you know, you said you talked about being strong, right? And strength is, I feel like it's relative, right? Sure. Especially in the male community, the black male community, right? And so what I've noticed is a lot of times you talked about how being able to be direct and tell people that hey I need help, or if you're not able to, having people around you that can be direct and say, hey, how can I help? Right. I think a lot of times that goes into I talk about a lot of like emotional regulation, right? Because we all get to those low points, right? That's just a part of life. But I think understanding when you are in those low points and not trying to mask it. I feel like I think mental health is always important, but I think the epidemic, if you will, that we're in where men struggle to speak about what they're feeling is because one, that was never taught. It was for lack of a better term, demonized, you know what I'm saying? In the barbershop culture, you know what I'm saying? Rough and dirty, you be all right, you know what I'm saying? Both big boys don't cry, whatever the case may be. 100%. But and I think there's a space there where we were never able to feel. We've never been allowed to feel.
We couldn't cultivate that emotion.
Exactly. And when we're called to provide, when we're called to lead, me personally, strength looks like being able to admit when I feel weak. Right? Because feeling weak and moving within that weakness is totally different. I like to say all the time, you can have a thought, you don't have to follow the thought. So it's okay to feel that way, but I think, you know, having someone there to have your back, friend, partner, whatever the case may be, parents, community, weights, you know what I'm saying, the gym bros, no doubt. Having those people around you that can say, hey man, listen, I don't care about all that macho stuff, you know what I'm saying? This may have never been introduced to you, but we cry around here, bro. You know, I say this to a lot of my friends, bro. If you gotta cry, call me and just cry. Like sure. It's emasculine, whatever that word is. Emasculine to mask that because we're supposed to experience. We're supposed to have helpmates, and you can't evolve without community. So if you're shunning out the community, you're shunning out God's bringing people to you to be like, hey, bro, you ain't got to do woo-to-woo-to-woo. We can do woo-to-woo-to-woo. We can pivot around this. Sure. And man, it's such a, whenever people talk about, oh yeah, you know, it's like talking to a man and say, be strong. What does that that word mean? I think the strongest when you say strong,
honestly, for me personally, was when I went to counseling and saw help, when I realized and got vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? Like, because then you realize, I think until like true strength comes, like you said, like no man is a silo. So true strength comes through like community and family and friends, right? And so like, I didn't realize how strong I was until I saw what I had built around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I was like, no, I'm really like indestructible not because of me, but because of the vessel of protection I have around me, the people in the community that God has provided me with, right? So like,
hey guys, real quick, I know the episode is getting fired, but real fast, we want to let you guys know about what's coming up with the Urban League.
This July, we got a jam-packed month. On July 18th, we will be having our Beats and Ballads event where you can come out, we'll have a great time, have a DJ, listen to some music, but we're also doing the important work, and we are learning about who's on our ballot this August for the election. We're learning about what these roles even do and what it means for us in our personal lives. And then on the back end of that, we're doing our part and we are notifying the rest of the community. We're doing text banking and we're writing postcards for everybody to make sure they know August 6th, we need you at them polls.
That's right. So make sure you guys come out to that. Also, on July 25th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Miller Park, we have our Shoes for School event. This is the perfect time to come and get all of your school supplies for your kids for the upcoming school year. It's gonna be at Miller Park. We're gonna have DJs. We're gonna have an entire party. Make sure you guys come out, enjoy yourselves, bring the kiddos, let's have fun.
And we giving out shoes for the kiddos. Make sure they stepping up in class with the fresh kicks on the first day.
And all the prices going up for everything, so it's free.
You might as well show up. And then lastly, if you are a young professional member, National Conference is coming up. It's gonna be a great time. It's always a great time.
In Nashville this year.
Nashville, Tennessee, right up the street. So we are getting our members together who wanna go. If you're interested in going to conference, please reach out to one of us. You can reach out to the page, ULChat_YP. Let us know you're interested. We'll give you the information and let you know how we can support you to get there with us.
Okay, now that you got all the information, man, I hope y'all wrote it down. If not, rewind, write it down, and continue. Let's get back to the episode.
Vulnerability allowed for me to be able to see those people show up. You know, that vulnerability allowed for me to be able to like say like, hey, I don't have it all together. That's why I need you guys. That's what makes me strong. Like Stephen A. Smith always says when he's talking on his like his shows and stuff like that. At First Take, he's always like, I know I'm not smart, but I'm smart because you guys tell me. Like I just tell them what y'all taught me. You feel me? So like, I think that's the biggest thing with men being vulnerable or women being vulnerable. And I think that's why women are so much better at it, because like you guys know that you have that surround, you know what I mean? Like women are like, I'm gonna cry with you. Like, oh, he did this? Oh, we got you feel me? Like, and so it's just a way that they
get in the car.
Up. Exactly. Yeah, like we
out.
So like the way that, you know, women show up for each other more times than not is a little bit different than how men show up for one another. And so I think it's just like knowing that you have that village of people creates like this strength that doesn't just come from you, but it comes from the community that's built around you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So how does it go? No, go ahead.
To your point about, you know, just cultivating that community. And you spoke about the way that women are, I guess, a little more comfortable with kind of cultivating that. But truly it starts at a young age with, you know, just having girlfriends and just having friends and, you know, being there to support through these different milestones. You spoke about teaching or coaching team sports and leading youth male groups. What do you think is the role of these coaches and the leaders of these boy groups or young man groups when it comes to showing them the route to strength and vulnerability and strength and support and strength and community? Because the physical activity is important, but if the values or the culture, so to speak, within the sport is still emasculating, how can we really get our men to the point where they feel comfortable with reaching out for that help? What do you think the role is for the coaches and the men that lead these young men?
That's good. It made me think of this book I read called Do Hard Things. And, you know, back in the day when coaches were with their players, it's like getting on them, like finding the kids that are going to quit. And so I think, you know, trying to weed out the weakness or like showing them like this, like what weakness is, defining weakness and defining like hard and pushing through. I think it's our job as coaches to define that properly. And I think but it's hard because like coming from a military background, there is a very little gray area. Like this is the adult, this is who you listen to, and this is right, this is wrong. You know what I mean? There is no like we don't teeter-totter. There's no. So I think it's hard because the job and responsibility of a coach is to be that male figure that pushes that kid past the limit. Right. You know, show them like, hey, like this is hard, but we're gonna do it anyway. But also knowing how to have the autonomy of their own body and their own mind and their own will and their own capabilities. And so it's a way to show them how to approach me as their leader and their coach to say like, hey coach, like I know that can't is not in our vocabulary. But today, I don't know that I can do that, right? I don't know what I have in the tape.
Yeah.
We have that a conversation as a young man and as a man, say, hey, like, this is, I don't think I'm capable of it. And I'm gonna say, hey, this is what I see. Let me tell you what you're capable of. Like, this is what I see that you're capable of. If you can't do it, it's on me. Let's try. You feel me? And like, if you can't, then we go from there. But I think it's like finding that balance to where it's like they have the ability to have that conversation. You still know that I'm an authority. Like, this is what we're going to try to do, but feel safe to know that like I'm going to take what you said into consideration. So I think that's the hard part. I think like that's the thing that gets shunned is because like kids don't feel like they can be vulnerable because they know that if they are, now they're looked down upon instead of like, no, I see you. That doesn't mean we're going to change, but we can adjust if we need to. You know what I mean? So
the work is still there.
Yeah. Like, so this is still the standard. We're not going to lower our standard. However, like
we're going to build your ability or your confidence, your capacity. There we go.
For sure, to get to that standard, right? And then if we realize like that may not be your strong point or your strong suit, then we figure out what is that on this team or this partnership that we're a part of, you know, like then we got to figure out what works because everybody's not built the same. You may not be the quarterback, you might be the lineman, you may not be the you know, so you may be the water boy, but let's be the best water boy.
Okay.
Play your role.
Let's play your role to the best of your capabilities. Like just because you can't doesn't mean you can't hear. You know? So I think that's where it's like it's hard as young men to like figure out that balance, and as adults, like you know, and it's I think it's our responsibility to be a good example. You know, we got to be living that. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And I think, like you said, like we're not taught that growing up. You know what I mean? So it's hard to do something for somebody else that you haven't ever got done for you. You know what I mean? So it's just trying to figure out like what does that look like. So
yeah. I feel that. So okay, so as an entrepreneur, all of us know that thing, it never turns off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like we wake up in the middle of the night. Ooh, let me write that down.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But yours is a little bit different because you're direct service, right? People come to you directly. You got to spend time and energy and resources in order to get them from where they are to where they hope to be. And that looks different across the board, right? And I believe that something that's helping me a lot with my mental health journey is stillness and presence. What does stillness and presence look like in your everyday life?
One of my clients been saying recently, and I just said it this morning to my class, like be where your feet are. And so for me, that stillness and presence is, you know, that early morning, waking up while everything's still quiet, being able to journal, getting my cardio in, just being able to set my intentions for the day. You know, talking about what I'm thankful for, telling myself what I'm thankful for, who I am as a man, who I want to be as a man. One of my boys, when I was single, would always be like, hey man, like, you got to be the bait to catch the fish that you want, right? So like, I can't be out here doing my thing.
That's real.
I can't be out here doing my thing and then want a nice woman that's, you know, saving herself from marriage. I can't, they don't work. You feel me? So yeah, I think the stillness for me is literally just like taking time to sit in the morning and journal. If I don't get that time, my whole day feels hectic. So, you know, like having a chance to like just be present where my feet are, like not thinking about what I'm gonna do today or, you know, what I need to accomplish or what is this business or how much money do I need to make to pay off this bill or that bill, but more so like who am I present in my current state, who do I see myself as, right? And also, I mean, it's also not a bad thing that who do other people perceive me as, and then, you know, like what's my goal to be that, not business-wise, but just as a man and as a human, you know? And so I think that's what stillness looks like for me oftentimes.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And I think, you know, there's like nowadays fathers, providers of the household, they lack that, right? So when you have, would be fathers or like I said, student athletes or somebody who just want to lose weight, how do you, how have you shown up for them? Because everyone is different. That looks different for every single person. So how do you get in and one, gain that trust, right? But also get them to recognize that they have those walls built up and intentionally bring them down and allow themselves to be more vulnerable.
I can be real, so for me, I can be really direct, you know, so I'll ask the questions that typically don't get asked, you know, like, or I wouldn't say typically, but you know, they may not be asked. Like, so I'll ask my client, like, you know, they may say like, well, I don't feel like doing this. Like, well, it's like, give me the why. You know, like make them think about what their reason or their excuse or whatever it is. And like, my clients know like everything you give me, I'm looking at it as an excuse first. Like that's just how I look at it. Like if you say I couldn't make it today, I feel sick. Like, well, did you eat? Did you drink? What time did you go to sleep? Like it's not it's probably your fault that you got sick, right? So I'm looking at that way. But I think that they know that they can be vulnerable because I'm also going to listen to them. Like I'm asking the why because for one, I want to understand them better, right? But I also want them to be able to understand themselves better. Like I want them to be able to say like, okay, yeah, that's why I did that. And now it's like Darryl asked me those questions. You know what I'm saying? Like he brought that out of me, and so that creates this like they know I care, they know I'm present, they know I'm trying to really figure out who they are and what makes them tick, so that they can reach the goals that they want to reach.
And something else that reminds me of a lot of times is always check on the strong on the strong ones because they need help too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So you talked about how you built a community of people that would check in on you. Gym culture can be intimidating for people who just start out. You know what I'm saying? How do you in what ways would you give advice to someone who is just starting out? They recognize there's a problem and I am able to fix it, but I have no idea where to start.
Right. I mean, I think the easiest thing is get a coach. It's not even like a self-plug. It's like just find a coach because they can show you the ropes. Like anything else, you're not just gonna go buy a bike without somebody teaching you how to ride a bike. You could try, but that's probably not gonna be the highest success rate. So get a coach. If you can't afford a coach, try to find a class. If you can't afford a class, but then ask somebody, ask a health professional, like, hey, this is the situation I'm in, like, what do you recommend? How can I do? Can you just give me some tips? Like I've had so many people ask me that, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm not gatekeeping. You know what I mean? Like you ain't about to give all my time, but I'm not gonna gatekeep. But I think the biggest thing is also it's like everybody starts somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, and we've all heard this, like it's either day one or one day. Right? So like make this your day one, and that day one doesn't have to be going to the gym. You can just go walk. And then at some point you're gonna get bored of walking, so let's start running. At some point you're gonna get bored of running, so let's start sprinting. And at some point and then you start jumping, and then you realize like I've exacerbated all my stuff, but I feel confident because my body's capable. Then I can step into the gym. So it's like, it's just baby steps. I think a lot we can be very much in a lot of ways. Some different people in different spaces can be all or nothing. You know what I mean? So I'll tell people with their food, anything like that, it's like little things, one thing at a time. You don't have to do everything. Nobody gets there overnight. And the people that do probably don't last very long. So
true.
Just take your time and work your way up to it.
I feel that. They say that the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
So one thing that I'm big on this Japanese philosophy is Kaizen, and it's daily improvement by invisible margins. So essentially, you're making the most minuscule change every single day, and it's not noticeable to the outside. It's only noticeable to you, and that builds that mental fortitude to look back and like, 30 days in, if I've gotten 1% better every single day, I'm 30% better. I've gotten hundreds of percent better by the end of the year without trying to quit cold turkey, whatever the case may be. So I'm always like, listen, if you want to get into the gym, don't worry about, I'm gonna do this workout, I'm gonna do this diet, just go get to the parking lot. If you get to that parking lot every single day, that's your only goal, is to get to the parking lot. What you do after that, because at some point, if you drive there, you're like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. At some point, you're like, I done all the gas.
Bro, come on now.
I might well go in there and see what's something like, what this do? I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And being curious about that, man. So like I said, I can talk about this fitness thing all day long.
I think one last thing to this very point is the perspective that you brought is, be where your feet is. And I think sometimes the intimidation comes from the long-term goal. And it's like, look at where you are right now and what we're gonna do today. Like you said, those invisible margins that we really get to cut. Don't worry about what it's gonna be in 10 days and 20 days. Be where your feet are. I like that.
And it goes back to biblically. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's Matthew 6 where he talks about you can't worry about what tomorrow brings. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow take care of yourself.
Like I think it's just remembering that like every step counts, right? And every step matters. And like you can't get there unless you take the first step. Like you said, you can't get there. And the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door, right? So like that's huge. But being where your feet are is also not comparing. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing. Is like, I think the intimidating part about the gym is when you walk in there, you see these people that are in shape, right? Or the intimidating part about a church is you see people that got their life together supposedly, right? Or like anywhere, like anywhere you go, there's going to be people that are already there.
Yeah.
But they also were here at one point. You feel
You're
me?
seeing their results.
Exactly. You're seeing the results. You're not seeing the work they put in.
They journey,
So
yeah.
They always show the iceberg at the top, but they don't show you the mountain that's underneath, right? And so
Man.
it's like, take those small chunks, take your time. But yeah, being where your feet are, it allows you to like put those blinders on, like, you know, take the advice from other people, but also realize like you are you. There's only one you, and because of that, you're already amazing, right? Like you're already a miracle, right? So it's like
facts.
everything after that is just extra. Like just the fact that you're your own person, nobody else can be you. Has had your experience, has your parents, has, you know what I mean? Like your DNA. That right there is the miracle in itself. So now everything I do from there is just leveling up. You know, I think if we can remember that and go back to the basics of everything, it's like the dude, I can't remember the coach that, you know, when they first got his kids in the gym as a basketball coach, he taught everybody how to tie their shoes. So he started from the foundation. It's like start from the foundation.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like let's tie our shoes together.
Yeah.
And it's so elementary, but it's like
It's a mental test.
exactly. Yeah. That stuff is that's why the Knicks came back from 29 points down last.
Come on
You know what
now.
I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like they got back to what works. They knew who
Dude,
they
if
were.
they lose the finals, this is not going to age well. Up 3-1 and you came back 29 and you still lose the finals?
But yeah, so, you know, I think that's what it all comes back to. Yeah, man, just being where your feet are, doing the foundational things over and over again, you know.
And, you know, I know we're about to wrap up here, but I think you just really touched on when we talk about that connectivity from this physical activity to the mental health is starting at that foundation.
Yeah.
And when we do encounter our young men and we see maybe they've gone so far in a behavior or they've gone so far in an emotion, it's like bringing them back down to that center.
Yes.
When I work with my boys at my schools that I'm with, you know, I'm always like, hey, but we're here.
Yes.
And we're talking about you.
Right.
Talk to me about you and how we even got there. Because I know somewhere along the way you could have we can manage ourselves. And so I think that's so important, especially shedding light and giving advice on people who are here to support men and men who are leading other men. Bring it back down.
100%.
I think that's missed too much, where it's like, bring it down.
Like, you know, you gotta think with kids, like their development, everything is astronomical. Like you gotta put yourself in their shoes too. It's like
It is that big.
If you break up with a girl, like if I broke up with a girlfriend right now, it's gonna be. But I also know like I'm grown. I'm gonna be okay.
I'm gonna
you know what I mean? Like if I was 18 and me and my girl broke up, I'd be like, man, like
That's all I had to do.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing.
it's a whole different vibe. And but it's like you have to be mindful of where they're at. So
Yes.
let's focus on you. Because I know this feels huge. And it is huge because that's huge.
Validation.
Their world ain't that big yet.
Exactly. They only have so many experiences, and every experience feels like it's the biggest experience ever. You know what I mean? So it's like remembering that, you know, in mental health for everybody is like your perception is your reality. So that was the hard part for me too when I was struggling with myself. It's like the way I thought people were gonna perceive me was what kept me in the struggle, what kept me in the addiction, right? So like once I realized like, no, people have their perception of me. And no matter what I do, some people are gonna fall off, but the people that really truly care and love me, they know the core of me. You know what I mean? Like the same people that walk in the gym or wherever, it's like, I know your core, I know your passion, like I know where you're trying to be, and so I'm here for it.
Yeah.
The people that don't believe in you or the naysayers, like, don't worry about them. Like, be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Where your 10 square feet, if I'm in that 10 square feet, let's focus on one another and we go from there.
Yeah, walk your path, your neighbor gonna come.
Exactly.
So I love that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect place. What you just said and how you wrap that up, I couldn't have did it better myself. So guys, listen, that's a perfect way to sum all of this up. It has been an amazing experience. Thank you for welcoming me to your home, brother, to your sanctuary. It's been an honor.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Y'all so lame. Y'all are so lame. But hey man, thank you guys for watching the newest episode of the Urban Voice Podcast. Again, I am your temporary host, Chris Flash.
He'll be back. And I'm your co-host, Empress D.
I'm Darryl Eubanks, owner of Still Life Athletics.
Hey, and
see y'all
this
next
has
time.
been the Urban Voice Podcast. Hey!
Peace.